Welcome to part 2 of session 13 of the first part of chapter 3. It is the 9th of January 2019. I'm Ryan, the GM. It's officially part 2 of session 13 of part 1 of chapter 3.
Millwall 0.
We tried so hard.
And
That's
got so
many
far.
numbers.
And
So
In
many
the end.
numbers.
I'm Ryan, the GM still, after those brief seconds. And here are the players.
Hello, I am still Olka. I am still Emmelyn. I am still a Lashonda pilot.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, well,
Hello,
Hi there.
I'm Nico. Nah, I'm Nico. I'm the best captain. I mean, that was just as bad, to be honest with you.
yeah.
So you're Zora.
I'm Zora,
You're
the
Zora.
best captain.
Yeah, you
Yes.
are. Yeah, you are.
Yes, I am. Wow,
Yes,
these-
I-
We're doing great. Doing great, guys.
Oh,
This is a
Hilarious.
fucking mess.
It looks like you're trying to interrogate a rat.
Hmm.
Hi, I'm Alex. I play Nix 5, the android mechanic.
I'm Colin. I play Lyko Quint. He is a bit undead and a bit sneaky.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Oh, he is a bit spooky, but that was covered by undead, surely.
That's racist.
Undead Shirley. How did you know about
I
her?
was going to say your mom's racist, but that seems kind of like, I don't know. For all I know, she might be.
Yeah, and that would be unfun.
That would have been a bit harsh if that were in fact the case. So thank God I didn't say it.
Hi, I'm Calum. I am going to be playing this magical space traumatized rat Zigg.
Hi, Calum.
Hi, Calum.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Calum.
So,
How
Calum
are we
was
all this
anonymous or
fine,
something.
fine evening?
we've done the pre-show. So,
Fucking hell.
we
I'm so sorry to anyone who has to listen to this. I apologize.
random
not.
random
It's all
thought
my
for the
fault.
day, guys. So,
I've missed this.
random thought for the day. What if dogs only lick you because they know you've got bones inside?
Actually true.
what-
That's what they're
what?
looking.
Right, consider this. What if you don't have bones?
What if you're a
They
shark?
wouldn't know that.
On that note, do you have bones back yet?
No, I don't actually. I had to think for a moment there, which is rather
Where
sad,
is
but
my
there
skeleton?
Where did I leave my skeleton?
That's amazing.
Such a spooky place name.
you
though.
go.
Oh,
Glasgow.
That's amazing. But anyway, so here we are in part 2. Where were we? We're in a
We got
In a
so
room.
far.
we're in the mess hall. So for those of you who have been paying attention to the map, we've added the escape pods that were totally on here the whole time, and discussed the modular capabilities of the passenger compartments.
Neutron flow.
I like to believe that the passenger seating area is cordoned off by like a wonderful like shower curtain.
We call it the diplomatic wing.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, we'll show you the diplomatic wing.
Totally. I'm into it. Yeah. Right, so we had Lyko trying to get Zigg's attention. Zigg obviously then posing the question to Kate, you know, what exactly do you want regarding...
What do you want to know about Garbage Day?
Yeah, here we are.
What could you possibly want to know about Graduation Day, is what he said
Mhm.
in his
And her-
Zigg-like tones.
And do you recall her reply?
What did the queen
She didn't say
steal?
anything. We faded to black, didn't we?
No, there was a whole thing.
What did the queen steal?
Oh shit! I must have had like a proper like brain fart then. Sorry.
Sounds right.
Oh.
Harsh but true. Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
What did the fox say?
No. So,
I don't even like that
Oh.
shit.
literally the...
Oh shit! Yeah, she said. What did the queen? What I want what the queen took, and I'm sitting there like, oh shit.
I'm glad you caught up to the entire story element about your character, yeah.
I was like,
It's not
wait.
like you know more than literally everybody else here.
You got it there.
I mean, it was one of those things where my brain actually just went through all of what happened on graduation day, as opposed to what SK actually said to me.
The efficient approach.
Yeah, just replay literally everything. But it's kind of what Zigg in universe did anyway, so
Yeah.
there we are.
So yes, back in the room. Yeah. So she was like, I want what the queen stole.
Yeah, sure, with that accent, yeah.
Those exact tone. Yeah.
I came here for what the queen has taken.
Why is she an old witch?
I mean,
Why
I think
are
that's
you?
exactly what a lot of you think of her right now. So
I mean,
What's happened to her?
comparative
last
to
10
Zigg,
seconds?
everyone's old, and she's a witch.
So-
as far as
she says that in the room, right? She says that to Zigg, and then Emmelyn, you feel a hand on your shoulder,
Ah,
and there's that kind of the feeling of that Arctic cold, and there is the line coming from a wonderful Mr. Westland, and I don't know. Do you turn to look at him, or do you just kind of like still sit nonchalantly? Like, what do you do when like you feel this like unexpected hand grip your shoulder,
I'll turn to look.
and then that's
Like like quite, just a little bit.
like as
like
if
almost a stop.
like
Yep, but sorry.
yes, like you were startled in a way.
Yes.
It's okay. Next
So
week,
great.
super professional, totes profesh. Like and subscribe, everyone. By the way, ring that bell.
Lyko, subscribe, everyone.
Like or
Where else would you
subscribe.
rather
the
be?
more people who like and subscribe, the less like nonsense I will spout.
No, that's.
He's lying.
I mean,
That's a lot.
no, don't people unsubscribe? So
I'm not
anyway,
even going to make that promise.
you kind of like startle round, and you kind of like almost try and do it. I'm assuming you don't want to do it super obviously.
No, but like she gets startled and then she like turns to look and then she almost straight away realizes don't look because
oh yeah, like oh, I'll
you'll
look
attract attention.
like that.
So it's like,
I'll deliberately not look, so it looks weirder that you're not looking almost.
yes.
Yeah. I think the only person that's maybe likely to notice that is Lyko, to be honest, anyway. Given the scene.
And I don't think Lyko's looking at me at all.
I think he was looking
so-
at Zigg last we checked, but it
Yep.
depends if he's looking between Zigg and Escape. And
It's possible I would have. I'm quite a noticey boy.
and
My perception is not a 0.
it's like I love it when that those
Nice.
conversations. It's like I think you'll find my wisdom's a 20, so yeah, it's wonderful in character dialogue there. Thanks. But yeah,
I mean, I say that in casual conversation now. So.
yeah, but you're just lying though. There's a difference. When it's actually
How
on
dare
your
thee.
character sheet.
I have made a
Um,
Calum Blaine character sheet. I'll have you know.
Are you so
Weirdo.
uncouth? It's how dareth thee. But yeah,
How darest it?
darest of yeah. But yeah. So anyway, you kind of turn around with a start, and then notice it's him, and you kind of like look away, and you feel that kind of Arctic cold from the vapor, because obviously the Edgar in your head smokes, and I think it's like his like smoking actions have mimicked yours at the table as well. Like as you go to take like a smoke, maybe you've just noticed that he moves the same way you do, or maybe you don't necessarily notice it, but we as an audience see it. Like the arm movements are almost identical, even if the posturing and everything are totally different. And he's there in like his waistcoat, and he goes, "What queen? What did she steal?" And that's kind of what he poses to you after having like his hand on your shoulder.
And I will straight away say out loud, "What queen? What did she steal?"
I like it.
It's good. Zigg.
Oh, sorry. Doesn't say anything.
Okay.
It's
I'm
just
kind of
still
looking
like
between the two of them.
I think
like
with that,
staring at
like,
Escape
when
and
you
starting
say
to
between the
swing.
two of them, sorry, do you mean between Escape and Zigg or between
Yes.
Edgar and Zigg?
Oh no, SK and Zigg. But like, I feel like my head. You know how like when you're startled and like she was startled, so she looked back a little bit.
Mhm.
I think her head is still a little bit tilted
Mhm.
to like, kind of not facing straight forward, just a little bit to the side.
So
Like she
imagine
it was almost like
Edgar's in
somebody
the
whispering
doorway.
into
Like
her.
imagine Edgar's between you and Lyko as well, seeing that kind of space between you two.
Yeah.
So he'd be like there.
Yeah.
I'll just freehand it in. There we go.
Yeah, so she's kind of
like
almost as if he was there, he was like whispering. So she's still listening to
Mhm.
that,
Yep. And like
but
What-
her eyes are looking. So her head's facing that way, but her eyes are looking between
yeah.
SK and Zigg.
And Zigg obviously doesn't respond. And Escape's staring at Zigg, waiting for him to be the next person to actually lead this conversation because she clearly needed information from Zigg, and so she's kind of as if as you look at her, you have this weird impulse to then just expect Zigg to fill in the blank. You know, that kind of weird, like, as if her presence is commanding the conversation that way, where you would look to her as if to say, well, she'll give me the answers. She obviously seems to think Zigg has the answers, yeah. And then you just automatically turn to Zigg.
Yeah.
And Edgar nudges you, and like as if he like kind of hits your shoulder gently, and that kind of, you know, physically, instead of just gripping at this time, it's just like he bashes his hand off your shoulder a little, and then kind of like points with like his cigarette in his hand towards Zigg, and it's like, ask him, maybe more. And he kind of like waves his hand mystically. And he's implying maybe use telepathy.
How do you steal my mannerisms from Dietrich?
Didn't telepathy go badly when I tried it the last several times?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think
The last every time.
I think speak plainly has been replied to you every single
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could pose that to Edgar, right? You could ask him that.
Yeah, I think she would, because she's tried talking to them, and it didn't work. So.
So what do you say?
But
I'll just ask. Can I?
So Lyko, how do you respond?
I elbow her.
I hate this.
So you've just been elbowed by
He's
Lyko
probably got a pointy elbow.
for like, to you, Olka, like, or Emmelyn, I should say, to you, Emmelyn, like for no reason, right? But maybe then you're realizing you spoke out loud,
Yeah.
and you're like, can I? I don't really know why I elbowed you, but you did, because he's Lyko.
Of course.
Look, that is a good enough reason. And also because she was talking to no one. Right? Just says, can I? Not quite looking at anyone, out the blue. It was weird.
I think she'll look at him confused and a bit angry. Because what the fuck,
I think
man?
your look of confusion and furrowed brow is the same we get on the standing by your side, like Edgar Wesleyan staring at Lyko as well. Like both with like maybe your hands are in the same position and like your facial expressions are identical. That furrowed scowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how now I'm two characters,
Yeah. Maybe 3.
and I end up talking to myself. It's great.
That's fine. What's the worst that could happen?
No, I like it.
I actually, under my breath, I'll mutter, can you? Sorry, I'll do the accent. Can you?
I think she will just ignore that. Like, I am not engaging with this because I want to know what the queen stole. So I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to talk inside voice.
Mhm.
Zigg, and say, Zigg, what queen?
And I think
What did she steal?
as you like send that, normally you're used to the speak plainly roadblock message that comes up, but you feel the initial pressure of that, and then just this weird extra ability to just push it to the side. As if there was something trying to stop you speaking telepathically. But maybe things have developed.
Maybe I've leveled up.
Perhaps.
No.
Actually, that's not an in-universe term.
90 feet telepathy lady. But also, maybe it's...
90 feet?
Yeah, she's nonsense. Didn't you pay attention to the level up conversation?
No, I did,
No.
but I was also trying to choose a feat at that point because...
Calum, what do you...
So
All
anyway,
of the
Sorry,
books
Calum.
it's also maybe just
Forgive
the fact
me.
that she's got a Wesleyan in her head. So-
Yeah, I thought that might be the.
And now
more
he
of-
cares about the answer, right? He didn't give a shit about your previous
Yeah.
conversations. Also, air quote didn't exist at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you say exactly what you said to Zigg.
Yep.
Zigg obviously remembers exactly what you said.
Yes. So I guess at that I would actually just send the image of the egg.
Yeah, you can only speak.
Just
She doesn't get like.
I can only speak. Oh, she doesn't get image. Okay.
I don't believe you get images, so yeah,
No.
it's just conversation.
No. Rats.
So you have to describe it to me.
Oh god.
Well, like, isn't this a bit like? Keep in mind.
Honestly, I think
so
you
let's
would just say.
I was gonna say,
I'm
think
sorry.
about someone just blaring in your head because you're aware that a lot of weird mind jank has happened since you touching people and sending thoughts to Lyko, and then you had the weird void creature
Oh god,
thing,
yeah.
and then this creepy shadow following you around, and then SK getting in your head and you basically exhausting yourself to push her out,
Oh man.
and now someone's just spoke to you in your head,
I'd be so fed up.
right? So now,
Oh man,
maybe-
I might just go to bed. Zigg, not me.
So what do you do in that moment when you hear the voice speak?
Rats.
Basically
I
saying,
think
"What queen? What did she steal?"
Slay Queen.
I think he'd probably actually, yeah, I think he'd do that thing. You know, when you're like startled, but you don't want to show that you're startled.
The thing that Emmelyn just did.
Yeah. Where exactly. So if we repeat that, no, but more of like you're still trying to put on a brave face, but your entire body just goes super tense, and everyone is probably quite aware that you're really uncomfortable right now. But you're doing your utmost to make it look like that you're playing it cool. That's what's happening right now. And I think his eyes would dart across like everyone in the room and be like,
Yeah, maybe the
Is
realization.
that in the
sink-
head or?
And I think the realization.
definitely that's it.
As you look around the room, though, you realize maybe during that you're like, "Oh God, someone's speaking to me in the head." Like, maybe at that point when you look around and you settle on Emmelyn, you realize in that moment that's who's speaking to you, as well.
Yeah.
I think Emma would, when he looks at her, she would give him like a little smile.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a tiny,
that
just to
works.
be like, it's okay, child.
Yeah,
It's okay, little one.
sweet summer child.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd probably exhale. Yeah, he'd exhale and fucking hell.
Or actually, no, sorry, she'd give him a wink and a smile. She'd wink as well. Just.
I think
quickly.
Zigg's more uncomfortable now. No, yeah. So he would go into just explain. Well, he wouldn't explain it as an egg because I don't think he's aware that it's an egg. He would just say the my temple's artifact was taken
In the head or out loud?
in the head. Jeez.
Keep up, Ryan.
I can't. It's when you get to a certain age, you just
Ah, yes. These 12-year-olds are just it's too much.
Fucking hell.
Oy vey.
Is that the session title sorted?
What
These
fucking hell?
12-year-olds are too much.
12-year-olds. I'm going to jail for that one.
I think I just throw up an
I think I'm going to jail for that one. Could also work.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so you just
So
say
your reply
the
with the
artifact at my temples was taken
that's what you get back
by some spooky bitch.
That's not good language for a 12-year-old.
just start chastising him psychically.
You're used to it.
Zigg looks at his feet.
I am used to it.
Are you doing that thing with your feet though, where they're kind of like clasping each other?
Also, I did not say that, by the
like,
way, just so everybody's
One foot would kind of be over the other.
And then like interlocking your toes type thing?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, okay, cool. Like kind of keeping your like mind occupied in a way. Right, so Emily, what are you doing with that? So
I'm gonna
his temple's
ask-
artifact was stolen by a spooky bitch.
Is that the wording?
I don't know, Zigg?
Pretty much, yeah. That's the wording.
A spooky bitch.
Mhm.
I think Emily will go. Zigg, do you know what SK wants from you?
No, I don't know, and I don't understand.
Poor Babby.
Yeah, I think in a unusual bit of kind of protectiveness, Emmelyn would just go to S8 out loud.
Mhm.
What do you want with Zigg?
And obviously, like the kind of this telepathic.
Almost like
conversation.
quite maternal about
Yeah.
it.
Or like almost, stay away from my cub type thing.
Yeah.
But like the conversation mentally obviously took like a moment. It wasn't like a lot of time, unlike Calum articulating. And we have wow, savage. And
Wow.
It's okay. I'll be better next time, guys.
it's
Aw.
I'll be less hyper.
we're all warming up. It's fine.
Yeah. And I am super hyper. Like, oh my god.
Just in case the folks at home needed more convincing,
He is ridiculously hyper.
He is quite hyper.
he's actually appearing in all of our homes simultaneously. That's how hyper he is. And adorable starting there. So
Oh,
we've got obviously Emmelyn having this kind of conversation, and I think like the entire time like you're getting responses from Zigg, you're hearing like Weslin be like as if this is all like interesting information. Like he's trying to piece together a puzzle as well, but he's not necessarily sharing that puzzle with you. He's just trying to mull it over, as he's kind of like kind of absent-mindedly like taking draws of his e-cig, and then you turn to S-Kate and you say, "What do you want with Zigg?" And then she does that thing where she kind of like leans back in the chair a bit more, because she's relatively relaxed about the whole thing. She was leaning forward originally, and then she's leaned back to kind of almost like open herself up to the group a bit more that way, if that makes sense, like body language wise. And she slightly angles herself to you. She still kind of keeps an eye on Zigg, and then she kind of like slowly turns her head and takes her eyes off Zigg at the last minute, and looks at you, Emmelyn, and she says, "I don't want anything with Zigg. He just knows information I need." Assuming you heard all of that there, because everybody went quiet.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I think
We're just
everyone's
all
just really like, oh,
I wasn't sure. Calum was
We were
muted.
awaiting the response.
You had to transport us to a dragon cave to get it. Could have just asked, when you attacked the car earlier.
She like her
Would be
body,
much easier.
like her body. See, as soon as you say all that about the car, her body language shifts, and then she looks like again back at you, and again you feel that weird, like the focus of the room is back on you. Like from her point of view, again, almost like like when you drop something in like a busy room, but it was right at the quietest moment.
Yeah, no, really.
And whether or not people are actually looking is irrelevant. You feel everyone stare. So you have that weird look, and again, it's only like, obviously from an everybody's point of view, like as a player point of view, we know this is only being described to you, Zora, as opposed to anyone else. But Zora doesn't know this, obviously. I'm just adding in more things to not metagame about. So the focus of the room goes that weird kind of shift to you. So you get slightly again that like uncomfortable. You move in your seat a little, and she says, "That was different business I was concluding with the limo. You just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time." And at that point, your watch beeps. Next 5.
I was about to ask. So which route?
I still like the image of him just walking away.
But like,
Yeah.
so
Nothing else.
your watch beeps, but Zora, what are you replying to that?
What kind of business would that be, if you don't mind my asking?
I don't, but private. She's like
Fair.
just like dead stare at you, not in like a daggerish kind of angry way, but in a very kind of passive, I see you for who you are kind of way. I know that just adds more questions, but that was the point.
But questions, not themselves answers.
Zigg just like we cut over to a Lyko store and he's in like a tweed jacket and he's got a pipe and he's just like waving it absent-mindedly in the air.
That was much more decent. No, not quite. Even he wouldn't have been that vague.
So yeah, what's happening?
But-
What's the plan here with these lovely footsteps?
Yeah, that's the doorway I can get through, isn't it?
Yeah, this here is a door. It is open. These doors are generally kept open unless like emergency lockdown or whatever, or like things happen and they all auto close.
I was just trying to make sure it wasn't like the doorway was up here somewhere and I'd have to.
No,
Excuse
like
me.
these are all kind of like computery crap in the engine room.
In that case, I stealthily sidestep
Roll stealth.
out the door.
Yeah.
First roll of 2019.
Yep.
1 or 20, please. So yeah, just
It's the
stealth
rules.
check and then.
I'm gonna assume it's gonna be a 1. It is
Oh.
not.
Actually, not. I'm perfectly mediocre.
Let's find out if she notices.
I mean, you rolled like all the ones at the weekend.
Actually, yeah, in one of our sessions at the weekend, I rolled nothing. The only things that didn't get ones were perception rolls,
Ah.
which have a -1 modifier on.
Mhm.
So everything else was ones.
I think it was a 1, all ones and 1-7, and that's it.
That was the entire session.
Her rolls are set to private, which I assume that
Yep.
you just have an issue with in general, but I'm just going to tell you what she rolled. She rolled a 31.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
well, that's-
Oh.
She has good eyes.
Yeah, like the reason why I don't want to switch them to public is because she's going to highlight the number and see the stat modifiers,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and that's the only part I don't like. I wish I could just have it where you
Switch that off.
see the results.
Honestly, I'm just happy enough for the GM to do it all behind the screen, as it were.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, I'm as we've discussed previously as well. Like I don't really need to fudge numbers. I mean, if you somehow manage to like kill her, and that was the way the story went, she's gone, right? So it's just how it works. I'm not gonna lie, I'm curious to see how that would go, but we'll see.
Roll new characters.
But yeah, so you go to like walk out the door, like you just kind of like casually stand up, go to walk out the door, and that very kind of automatic way that,
Nonchalant.
yeah, like just the way you would in general, like this is not an issue for you to deal with, blah blah blah. So you go to walk out, and then there's just let me just put what we'll do. Just some freehand, some beautiful freehand.
Beautiful. Aw. Look at that.
That's swords.
Right, you get there, and then those block your way. They just kind of like shimmer into existence, and two kind of swords cross, and they kind of hiss as they touch each other. And then she as she was kind of in the conversation about Zigg, because I feel like this was probably the same time as she was addressing the "I don't want Zigg, I want what he knows" thing. She turns, and then he kind of just goes, "Are we done?" In kind of like a almost offended kind of way.
This didn't seem to require my attention.
And you can see like anyone paying attention to her body language, you can see like her body language shifts a little. I'm really curious to know what would. And she's just staring at you.
I thought I might go check on Alice.
And then you can like her like expression like hasn't changed. It'd be like the exact same panel of the comic again. And she goes,
Hi, Brian Michael Bendis,
it's quite complimentary.
who I like.
Yeah, I was
actually.
going to say,
Good
yeah,
deal.
it's quite. Thank you.
Certainly, some of his work I don't, but
Um,
mostly I really like him.
We could do a comics panel as well, quite frankly. But yeah, like, well, it should be called Ryan and Colin R. That's where it should be.
I am.
But
I
yeah,
agree.
so she and kind of like movedly replies, "Alice is in hand."
In that case, I might go about some of the routine maintenance.
Your ship seems to be grounded for the time being.
For the time being, but at some point it won't be. That's why it's maintenance.
And she kind of like turns to the group. and then she kind of does that thing where it's like instead of kind of sitting back in her chair, she leans forward. Is like kind of got like her elbow, like her kind of elbows on the table, very with manners, and she kind of leans forward. And it almost looks like she's tired, you know, that way where it's like, why is this difficult? And then she just goes, take your seat.
I'd rather not.
I wasn't asking. And then she stands up. Does that thing where the chair makes that noise across the metal. And it's probably a shitty metal chair, so it's a horrible screech of metal on metal when she stands up.
Honestly, I think it's best for all of us if I go and attend to this.
I think at this point, Emmelyn would realise why he's leaving. If maybe she realized she knew what the watch was or something.
Well, tell you what, why don't we make a roll and we'll see if you actually know that. Why don't you roll sense motive?
Which gets I get a +2 to the DC against it because I'm an android.
Yep. But that's fine. We'll do that and we'll see. I'll gauge roughly the. In fact, let me just work that out just now. Let me just see. Skills
much
checks. Yeah, I want to see that.
Nix's brilliant plan she'd pick up on.
So let's say it's going to be a 17, right? 17 or higher. No wait, you're level 3, aren't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
God, that's so much. 20. So a 20 or higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you get 20 or higher, you will know exactly what Nix has done. Otherwise, you're just wondering why he's escalating things.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Let's do it.
There we go. Easy peasy.
There we go.
Nice.
I was basing that on the fact that I was like, this is definitely challenging because you have kind of nothing to go on other than like potential past behavior, but the ooze is new. So,
Yeah.
but things
But
that
also, I get a +1d6
Yeah.
to sense motive,
um,
which I totally forgot about.
it's almost. The thing is, I knew it would be easy for you, but I was like, I need to work out an actual difficulty for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, his level +2 because of the whole android thing, and like, yeah, challenging as well, just in general. So yeah, but no, you smashed it. So you've maybe just had like a couple of flashes in your head of what he's done in the past, which has been great logical decisions, but terrible people decisions.
Yeah.
Like, well, the most efficient way to get what we want is to have the bigger gun. Literally, how Nix has built
Game
himself.
theory would suggest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why he went into heavy weaponry. So you thought, what is the most stupid thing he could do? Oh God, to use.
Mutually assured destruction
Yeah.
is a valid
Yeah.
policy.
So yeah, you totally know. And I think that's the type of way I want to do the game from now on. Like, see things like
Yeah.
this where you don't really have scope, but there is the potential to have worked out someone's character. That's
Yeah.
at least there's a
I like
skill
that.
for it. But yeah,
Oh, he's the fucking idiot.
so you maybe have this realization, and I think what we get is you narrow your eyes and tilt your head at Nix, because like, wait, why is this? Because you lean over like to see around Escate as she stood up, and then your eyes go wide when you realize, and so does Edgar's at the same time, where you both go, fuck, or whatever your reaction is, but you both say the same thing.
Yep. So I'm gonna say to Escate that I think Nix has initiated the self-destruct system on the ship.
Okay.
I would strongly suggest we let him go.
Roll deception.
Oh, can I roll bluff?
Is that deception?
That is deception.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
deception,
yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Bloof.
That's it.
Bloof.
Well, I'll find her goddamn character sheet and work out. I think
I mean,
it's sense motive.
It's
supposed
not
to be.
entirely
motive
false,
again, yeah.
so I think that deserves some sort of bonus.
And
It's
to counter
sense
that,
motive.
it's sense motive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me roll this. Alright, so it's against.
Right, let me decide if I'm gonna do my convincing liar bit.
Oh, what does that do again? Talk us through it, because I've totally there's been
So
much
when you
nonsense.
attempt a bluff check, you can choose not to roll your expertise die until later.
Well, that would make that a 16 then.
Yeah, because I don't know how to make a not roll.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that.
I was going to say, I think you'll need to design that so that you...
So it doesn't roll.
Yeah, so what does that imply the expertise die is finite then?
So they're not finite, but basically you can choose not to roll it in order to then choose instead to re-roll the original dice.
Yeah.
Basically gives you more ways of using your expertise.
Right, okay. Because it's rolled this time, I'd
Yeah.
say
Just go with it.
it can't be because you know the result it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's fine.
if you want to uncode it for that reason, this specific one, that might be
I
something.
am
Yeah,
definitely doing that.
that's definitely worth it because that's really awesome, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to roll hers. Yeah, she believes you.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep. She rolled in total, it wasn't this number, but what she rolled on the d20 was a 2. So,
Yes.
so her modifiers aren't that good. Let's put it that way.
Good.
Thank God.
They are good. They are not that good. But yeah, she kind of like turns her head and like narrows her eyes, and she looks confused. Like, so she turns and stares at you, Emmelyn, and goes, "Why would he risk the entire crew?" And like she puts like her hand up incredulously.
I would kind of narrow my eyes and see an android.
I mean, how do you feel right now? Because I mean, he like, as far as you know, Zora, Next 5 has just rigged the ship to blow up. You are on the
I
ship.
probably want to clonk him in the head like I wanted to clog Edgar, but I mean, I'll be like androids.
Keep in mind, this is your
Goddamn
this is your
androids.
entire military pension you're sitting in that he's just rigged to blow up.
I would
Enjoy life.
completely believe it as well.
I'll be honest. I mean, if anybody,
sense motive,
I was going to say,
because
if anybody wants to try not to believe it, you're welcome to roll sense motive against her bluff.
the
But
thing
yeah.
is, I have a
Yeah.
very good sense motive, but Lyko would believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I would believe it. I do think.
yeah. I think
would
default, like, you
try.
believe it unless you oppose it as like players.
It seems like a next thing to do.
But I mean, does that maybe change how you feel? Because you probably know that Nyx has probably left it to the last few seconds. Then, right? Given that he's the end.
I think Zigg would panic a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay, so how do you panic?
He's had a real stressful day, and now this shit's just been dropped.
So yeah, you're gonna blow up in a cave
Full of dragons.
here. They're gonna be so happy about the ship exploding.
I think it's more just the cherry on the top of the cake of shit that he's had to deal with.
The garbage man.
And I think he portrays that through a various amount of facial expressions, while still trying to look a little bit like not phased because Eskate's in the room and he's like, but so yeah, he's got this really obscure kind of combination of I'm trying to look like I'm under control, but what the actual balls is going on here?
Yeah.
Lyko falls off his chair laughing.
Yeah, so like she kind of just like looks away from Emmelyn and looks at Lyko, obviously, because he's just fell off his chair laughing.
Sort of
Do you wanna
clawing
know
my way back up to
Like her confused look hasn't shifted. If anything, it's perhaps solidified slightly.
I've changed my perspective on it. It would be a Vesk move as well. I would sniggle.
So I imagine
I
some
suppose
people
you
might
would
appreciate it.
respect it. Yeah.
I feel like it would be a Vesk move as well. If you're going to take my shit, I'm going to blow it up. Like it's not ideal. Like.
Where do you think I learned it from?
I learned from watching you.
I learned it from you.
Studying the best negotiating tactics.
She's just
I'm not happy about this. I'm not laughing, by the way.
Near's Edgar. Edgar's raging.
Yeah. I think I'm ignoring Escape. I'm just gonna ask Nyx in a very like startled and holy shit voice. How much time do we have?
Minutes to seconds.
Like, so I'll tell you like roughly how long it's been. Right. So I think you said I think it was an hour. maybe
I
an
think
hour
it
and a
was an hour.
half. Like it was
Yeah.
something like that, and I'm gonna say there's probably like 30 minutes left. Maybe like you've like yeah, there's probably about that time because this conversation hasn't went on that long, but there has been a lot of just quiet when you have stared at each other and postured for quite a bit.
I'm still going to say minutes to seconds.
Oh no, like yeah, I just wanted to know if you were going to lie
Yeah.
or not. That's all, because obviously that deception requires rolling.
Yes.
But yeah, so if you're going to say that to the room, lie to the room, please.
Oh no, I shouldn't have done this.
I should have thought about that.
Technically, it's not a lie.
Roll bluff.
It's the Android approach.
It's technically not a lie. There's minutes and seconds.
Hmm. Oh my
Oh
god!
my
It's
I don't think I could like
uh,
believe that if I
Alex,
tried.
can you deliver the line with the 2 that you rolled?
Minutes or seconds. Sometime. I kind of probably just look like I don't know what the hell I've set it to now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just
You're like
tapping
looking
the-
at your
tapping the watch.
going,
I'd kind of
Sometime.
narrow my eyes and would say, like, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but
Like
give us a little bit more time.
the scene that I like though is the idea he looks down and he is like, is this on 24 hour? Is this set to Absalom Station? I don't think so. Minutes and seconds.
he's like putting the watch to his ear. Like it doesn't even, it's not even a mechanical one. It's just
Yeah.
like, is this on? Still working? Tapping it gently.
So
with a
I'm gonna
finger.
roll.
Yes.
And I'm gonna roll. Let's see.
Higher than 2.
I think she might.
Critical fail. Critical fail.
Critical fail was not a thing, remember?
Yep.
Well, one.
I don't think even with a 1 she'd
Oh no, she wouldn't.
get up.
For fuck's sake.
She got higher than 2.
Yeah.
Let's just
Okay.
put it that
Oh.
way. She got
Aw.
significantly higher than 2. She rolled a 17 on her d20. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I rolled a 3 on mine.
You
That's
did. You
something.
did indeed.
That's the other 20, part of
The
20.
more you know.
Yeah, see?
So yeah, at that point she kind of like, she doesn't relax, but she's in a less of a this ship's about to explode moment now, because she's now like, did you actually, in a kind of, he's clearly lying kind of way. And I mean, I don't think any of you need to even roll. Let's face it. I mean, I would love it if
No.
there is the chance that you could roll less than 2, for sense motive. But
Yeah, I can.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
incapable of rolling.
Yeah.
I'm incapable of rolling less than.
yeah, I figured that. But this is kind of the reason why I like the lack of criticals for a certain
Yeah.
point, because I think
I can roll a minimum of 10 on sense.
Yeah,
Not
me
bad.
too.
Whoa!
I think I might be the only one able to fail that roll.
yeah, I think so. Androids though.
Peoples are not your strong.
Everything else, yes. People's, no.
Well, the biological part of the people.
Excuse
Yep.
me. Sorry.
So yeah, I think with that, she like just
Bombshell.
slowly like turns and stares at you. It has that kind of like still really shocked, like what the fuck look on her face at you, as if expecting a response. Maybe you don't necessarily read that from her. But yeah, she's like, take your seat. We can conclude this conversation and we can go our separate ways. Unless you really have rigged the ship to
He probably has
explode.
rigged the ship.
Oh no, like I feel like everybody knows that he's dropped the ball on that. I mean, you can try and keep up the bluff, but she doesn't believe it anymore.
Thanks, by the way, for that.
We are going to explode. Maybe not in minutes and seconds, but we are going to explode.
Tempers aside, Vesk. And then she like puts like her hand on the table and she sits back down. She's like, I need information young Zigg has. I would like this to be. She kind of like looks up at Nix 5. Amicable and efficient. And then she looks back directly at you again, Zora, and that again focus of the room thing. She goes, I could be gone by now. Yous are keeping me here.
I would look towards Zigg. Well,
Shake him. Give her the answer.
well, best spit at it. Medkit.
She
We've got any
doesn't
time to
need
waste.
to know about the artifact. It's got nothing to do with her.
We've not exactly got a choice.
What could you possibly need to know about the artifact? It's got nothing to do with you. Looking at SK, obviously. Or not.
I mean, no, you can look at her. She sat back down across from you, so. And then yeah, so she she looks at this panicked rat child, and then phrases you never thought younger versions of you would say, and which they haven't. So she looks across and she says, "And you're okay with such an artifact of?" And she kind of pauses a little, and she kind of like darts her eyes really quickly around the room, and then back to Zigg. Like, do you even know what was taken? As if she's asking for the first time. And she asks this directly to Zigg.
I think he'd kind of like do that quick sort of like side glance away and then straight back,
Mm-hmm.
and then be like the sun artifact, the artifact of the sun.
Oh.
It's adorable. And then she kind of like, she smiles kind of warmly, and you're reminded of your old mentor's smile, and that kind of content with their skill. You know, that I'm smiling, but you know not to fuck with them. Kind of, you know, don't let this smile make you think I'm vulnerable, ... vibe that you got from your mentor all the time. Which was, if she smiled, it meant she was in a good mood. It didn't mean you got to make jokes. If that makes sense, Zigg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Almost in that kind of when someone, like maybe like a school teacher or something, or someone I should say, they make a joke and then other people try and make a joke, but then the teacher's like, no, this isn't the joking time.
Yeah.
I got to make a joke because this is my classroom.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're laughing, Olka. I know you are.
Yeah, that's totally how it works.
Yep.
I have that authority.
Yep. Never said it worked. So yeah, anyway, so she gives you that kind of almost disarming smile, and then she sits back. She's like, I sometimes forget just how young you are to have seen what you have seen, and to have survived what you survived in the temple.
I think he'd kind of like just shiver a wee bit, because all the horrendous imagery of everything that happened in prequel times,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of comes rushing back for a quick split second, but he like kind of takes a deep breath and composes himself, very noticeably.
And then-
Lyko's muttering under his breath about everyone survive this, survive that.
And then she looks around the room again, kind of at everyone. She goes, we need to come to terms. And then she kind of like dismisses everyone with like her body language and leans forward towards Zigg. Maybe like you recoil a little bit, maybe you lean in more. I don't know whatever Zigg's instinctual reaction would be, but she's not doing it in an intimidating way. She's still got that weird kind of warmish kind of
Okay.
welcoming thing about her now.
I think he'd lean more like on the table, just like sort of.
Like, and you notice that absentmindedly her hand's in the middle as if she's reached out for you as well.
Okay.
So I don't know if like you're going to reach out for her or if you're going to reach out
Nope.
for Faith. Yep, I figured. It's like, yeah, so you lean in, you don't necessarily reach in. And she goes, I knew the Radiant Supreme. And we end there.
No.
No. Radiant Supreme.
So yeah, I really enjoyed the journey we took in session 13, the first part of chapter 3, of course.
Yay.
Yeah, let's just jump straight in. Olka?
I enjoyed many things. I enjoyed. Yeah. Hello.
I feel like that just sums up us being back, doesn't it? It's nice.
Sums of this.
I enjoyed Edgar in my head. Mirroring my movements. That was a nice touch, I thought. I enjoyed Nyx's roll of 2
Oh, it's so good.
because it just
It's perfect, isn't it?
it's just such a Nyx moment of not being able to talk to people at all, convince them of anything. Oh, I had more because I was going to
just tell the truth next.
We'll come
Sorry.
back if you want. Yeah, I'll cycle round if you want.
Yeah.
What about you, Nico?
I enjoyed Zigg's deflecting of questions in every situation, which was good. Enjoyed that. And he'd done a good job of not answering the question, but answering questions. But yeah, I just enjoyed Zigg in general.
Yeah,
But
Zigg
I
was
also
great.
enjoyed Nyx. Obviously, his failed attempts at buffing.
Oh, you had one good roll.
I
Right?
enjoyed that whole situation because everybody knew he was telling the truth, but SK's like, "Nah, you're not telling the truth." But we're all like, "Nah, he's actually telling the truth."
Well, I like those.
They blow up. Like,
The thing is, they're like, but he hasn't set a self-destruct, and that's what I love, because he hasn't. So like, he just lied about that. The only thing he set, just for a player thing here, is for the shielding containment unit of the assembly ooze to deactivate, like to overload them. That's it. That won't take out the whole ship. What the ooze might do might take out the whole ship.
Yeah.
So
It's still potentially ruinous.
in a long,
technically,
it's like a really inefficient way to blow up the ship, I guess, as it slowly just chews its way through.
It's destroying the evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like
Also,
I love that. Like I love that you did quite well, and then just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Because it's like yeah, if you don't put pressure on him, he's totally good for that one lie. Don't poke it though. Oh no, damn it, it's fell apart. The whole thing was cardboard.
Yeah.
Anything else, Nico?
I can't really think, and I'm sure that other people will end up.
We'll cycle back round. Don't worry. We can do
Yeah,
we can do 2 laps. Next 5, aka Alex.
Yes. I mean, I will pat myself on the back with Nyx's shenanigans. But I also want to say, I never actually lied. Because the one about the self-destruct... the self-destruct...
You were definitely trying to be misleading with the second one, though.
Oh yeah, but I didn't roll the first one. The self-destruct line came from Emmelyn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I just didn't say it was wrong.
Which was like difficult enough apparently.
Yeah.
Flush it with a lie, right?
Opening my mouth would have been the mistake. And it was.
Dear. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I obviously really like the nice little flash ship that we've got.
Of course,
It's fun
yeah.
to play
I
around
literally just hid the ship as well. I actually changed the colour of the aura around the ship. I don't know if anybody else noticed it. It used to
Yes.
be green, but
Yes.
it's now blue. Yeah,
Is there a reason for that?
chapter 3, everybody. No,
The blue phase.
I think blue just looks...
Still green to me, damn it. No, but really, it looks like green to me. A different shade of green, but it still looks more like teal than blue.
It's cyan.
That's fair. Turquoise.
It's turquoise rather than cyan, actually.
Aren't we all?
But no, I was gonna say, I also really enjoyed the kind of the physical RP that was being done, even though obviously it's quite difficult over online. But the descriptions of like Wesland copying Emmelyn's maneuvers,
Yeah,
Yeah, just
the mirroring.
like where
and-
everybody was looking and stuff.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed Zigg's kind of the description of where Zigg is, where he's like
How he's sitting.
hunched up on chairs and everything.
having the map definitely helps for that, I think,
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
have
Sure.
the map for this conversation, since that's exactly what we're talking about.
And obviously Lyko falling off his chair laughing.
Well, That's good. Like, having the physical space, technically, like obviously, I say so loosely, but like having the ship,
Virtual physical.
yeah, like it is nice having the map. It's
Yes,
good.
I
It's
agree.
as I said, by no means perfect, but it's what I got, man. It does help just with your own mental space, having the ability to not need to process that or like kind of almost buffer that information in your head while trying to
Yeah.
manage everything else. Because I'll be honest, I do hit a lot of information into a scene, but that's
Yeah.
deliberate, obviously. And you guys are doing really well.
I also find it's really like when you don't have the map because everyone imagines things slightly differently. It's really hard to say, well, I do this to this person, and this person's like, well, I'm not
Mhm.
where you perceived me to be. It
No, I
gets
totally
a
agree.
bit confusing. So
No, it can be tough as well because yeah, that is one of the flaws of RP is that people see everything differently. It can be a boon in many ways, but at the same time, people end up sometimes stepping on each other's role-playing scenes because you go, I didn't realize that was there, and it was, well, it has to be for what I did. And you go, oh, you're right. Dot dot dot.
Yeah, it's kind of like taking away certain elements of choice and flexibility. Means you can spend more time on other areas.
Agreed.
Which really does help.
Back on the physical description thing, I just really like the design of Edgar mimicking Olka, or Emmelyn's movements, I should say, because it kind of makes it feel like less like he's there, and more like it's an
Yeah.
extension of Emmelyn.
Yeah.
And that's important, obviously, because it is not physically him, right? So it's not like he's holographic, kind of,
Mhm.
projecting in, which is quite cool. So we kind of get Emmelyn's mannerisms via Edgar's presentation, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And I've got a little voice telling me, "Go on, ask him, ask him."
Yeah, which is kind of excellent. It's like you have almost like an extra motivation within, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about? In fact, unless Alex had anything else, sorry.
No, I think that covers it. It was a great welcome back session.
It was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Lots of silliness.
it was definitely fun.
Colin,
Well,
I almost left you to last.
I liked, for one thing, I actually sort of took the sort of backseat a bit more than usual. But it just didn't really feel natural for me to interject too much, so I liked kind of playing a bit of slapstick
Yep.
this time around. That was quite fun. Like,
And there was loads of scope for it in this one, right?
of Emmelyn, obviously, yeah. Well, it made sense to do. I wasn't
Yeah.
just being wacky, because she's like, as I recall at that point, you were kind of just sort of not really particularly focused on any one person because you'd sort of looked away a bit because you'd been, and I got this impression, or at least as this might be going into what we were just talking about there, how we picture things differently. Like, I imagine you in that state of like, your eyes are flicking to something, and it's obvious you're not wholly focused on whatever is at hand, and I think that's probably what would be immediately noticeable. And then, like, I'm imagining sort of catching you in a moment of starting to say something, and you're maybe, obviously not looking at any of the party, and he's like, yeah, that's weird. So that was fun.
Yeah, I really like that. The spooky boy has spotted something spooky.
He's quite observant.
It's also just the
But yeah,
positioning at the table as well.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense
Yeah,
that if you're
of course.
looking down the room and then she randomly turns and says something randomly, the fact that you'd be like, eh?
It was nice. I also played into, sort of leaned into the slapstick more later on, obviously with the falling off the chair. It seemed like his sense of humour would be such that the idea that the place is going to self-destruct would be quite funny to him.
Yeah, especially like after that such a tense moment.
Yes.
Like it's been like such a tense scene, and then this happens, and you're like,
I mean,
And
the
the-
ship,
"Oh, that's it."
the ship moved. You appeared in a cave. There were dragons. There were dragon men fighting you. You go back on board. Alice was Escate. There was a whole weird thing about Zigg, and then the ship's about to start. And you think, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's due. Yeah.
I like obviously Zigg being Zigg because he's just quite adorable.
So cute.
Emmelyn's interaction, semi-interaction with not Wesland or / Wesland, but not physically Wesland was cool. I'm enjoying that, and I will be interested to see how that develops and like how that plays into more conversations in the future. Because while Lyko noticed something amiss, he has no idea what it was, right? Like he doesn't have a fucking clue. So it's going to be interesting seeing how long it takes for people to start to catch on.
What I like though, see, like I have this scene in my head, just as you described it there, of Lyko like eating like a bowl of like space porridge, like in the canteen area, and like the shelf unit behind where you're sitting right now has all the mugs on it, and you just like we have that angle from the table looking up through like your arms towards the shelf, and your eyes just like narrow, and then the camera does that shift focus, and we see Universe's Best Dad mug sat on the shelf, and you just think to yourself, huh? Because obviously you flash back to having her swiped that from the space station. You're like, that's such a weird thing to steal. Going back to eating porridge, just those tiny little kind of, that might have happened long before now, but little scenes like that, I could just believe that's things that Lyko would notice but wouldn't bring up as well, because it's like,
no, he's
everything's
not
weird.
necessarily the kind of person to play his hand early either. Like, he's probably more quietly observant, especially in things like that. And yeah, so I'm intrigued to see, and also I liked the fact that Nico, you kind of seem to change your mind a little bit over the reaction of Zora, and I like that you kind of settled on him. Sorry. Also, my God, that was a nice little like fucking mental loop I did there.
Zora gets all
I know, right?
It's actually a character feature.
You sort of thought about it and came back with. No, actually, like. You were thinking, obviously, I think it was just a case of like, no, that's not. It's sort of fighting back against the instinct for your character to do what you would do, which is sometimes quite hard. And so I just liked that you sort of changed your mind on that one, because it does seem more fitting to me that Zora would kind of begrudgingly respect that choice.
Yeah, because I mean, like in that scene, yeah, like in my head, what I saw was Zora gets angry first, right? And it was like, oh no, this is my ship. This is bad. We're all going to explode. Then went, what is the other option I see? And go, I mean, yeah, I guess so, right? And like to me, that's the journey that I would like. Yeah, I could believe that journey. Like generally, I'm quite vocal if I think, can you explain your decision process? Because I don't see you doing that. And then we usually get some interesting RP out of those choices. But no, that was pretty good.
It's kind of like a more human way of doing it, whereas like Nyx went straight to the exploding, where I was like, I'm a living being, so I would feel the panic, and then I'd be like, oh no, well, that's a good idea.
What was it?
He's a living being too.
What was that, Colin? Sorry, you think you said the word escape?
No, I just said Veskian diplomacy.
Oh, Veskian.
Like, it makes sense.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, he is the diplomatic corps, or was. So he would know. Yeah, corps. You were the entire Vesk diplomatic corps.
I am diplomacy.
I am the Senate.
I am the corps.
Anything else, Colin?
No, I think that's my commentary.
Yeah. Calum?
What an emotional roller coaster that was. That was horrible. It was awesome. I loved it. It was a great sort of like, welcome back to the thing, because it feels like it's been forever. I really loved Nyx 5 sort of Crichton moment.
but I
lie mode.
It's also just like but I have to vacuum the space carpet. Like that's fine. Just vacuum it later. Like, no, but if I don't do it now, the ship will explode. Yes, that'll do. Yeah, total Crichton.
It was just such a red dwarf moment. I
was feeling
fantastic.
that.
That's great.
Although Lyko was quite quiet, I enjoyed Lyko being Lyko.
Thank you.
It was just the elbowing Emmelyn for just going, but can I?
But I like the can you? Like almost as if, don't talk to me, elbow. Face that way. Oh, that was good.
Oh, S-Kate's doing my head in. She's really doing my head in.
Oh, she tried.
Yeah, I know, but she's like, well, she's She's like tried with Zigg, but she's really getting to Calum right now. Oh my god.
How so, Calum?
Oh man, I think we need like a separate like therapy podcast.
We can do that. That's just add it to the
Great.
pile of
That'd be
podcasts.
really helpful.
Can it be led by Alice?
In an effort to learn more about people, I will become the ship counselor.
I will become the ship.
Counselor. Like with that big pause in between.
I will counsel the ship.
Yes, the ship is fine right now. If you could walk a little more gently on
Am
the
I a
bulkheads.
lie?
Give it 25 minutes.
Am I a lion? But yeah, Calum, any more?
Other than that, I think everything's kind of been covered. To be honest, I just really liked the whole. It was very sort of, sort of, the crude interacting development sort of session, which was, in theory, not a lot happened, but I feel like a lot happened
Yeah.
developing interaction wise, which was very nice.
Plus, it is difficult to come back from a break, regardless of the length of the break, I think.
Yes.
Because obviously we're used to doing this weekly, and having been away since, the 17th, so yeah, it has been a bit of a stretch. Obviously, we've all done loads of stuff in between, we've all been quite busy people in between the time as well.
Busy for me. I've
Yeah.
like practically forgotten what happened like the previous session.
And that's why I didn't want to go into anything too heavy in this one. The good thing is as well, we've got less time between the next one, which is awesome for me anyway, for my habit, because it will be here quicker than a week, which is excellent for me. It's also Ryan and
This
or
was like a
Victor and
warm-up
Calum Day
for it,
technically.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's Victor and Calum
It
Day.
is.
What? Where?
I've got it as Triumph Day, but
Awesome.
whatever.
Yeah, it's the
Day
same
of
thing.
Triumph.
Yeah, it's the 14th of January's Triumph Day for me and Calum.
Which is also Al's birthday.
awesome.
Nobody knows who Al is, but
I know of Al.
Al, it's your birthday. If you ever listen to this, which you won't because you hate me.
I'll wish you happy birthday. then.
Happy birthday
on your birthday in the
next
recording,
week.
Yeah.
Well, on Monday.
Yeah. The Olka, sorry. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Or quickly?
No, I think it got covered by everybody else.
Nico.
The map is awesome.
The map. No, thank you.
The map is awesome, actually. Yeah. The ship map is definitely just.
I added absolutely nothing to the story, but I absolutely enjoyed like asking Ziggy's age, and then when SK asked me my age, I'm like,
That was
going to ask
excellent.
people someone their age.
Oh, I loved that as well. I was waiting to see who was gonna comment on that. But yeah, no, it was good.
Cheeky.
It was a lot of fun.
I would like to formally apologize for being absolutely off my face, like hyper-wise.
Absolutely.
Had nothing but carbs and sugar all day, and I'm still bouncing.
Please do that again Monday.
Just
It adds
say
so
normal,
much
yeah.
character.
It's like
Sounds-
it's like when I was a kid and they wouldn't let me have Smarties after like 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, screw you adults, I can do what I want.
So
Downing a tube of Smarties.
for
They
the
just
for the end of the game,
can them.
the wrap up of this is that if any of you have decisions or changes that I need to know, make sure I know about them before Monday. That's not on Monday before the game, it's before Monday.
Just from me.
Any admin that still needs done, like PDFs and Roll20 and the game info screen, try and get all that done before Monday. And yeah, I think it's nice to be back, quite frankly. Thanks
It's
everybody
real
Yeah.
nice to be back.
who's played, and thanks everybody who's listened. And yeah, I can't wait to see when this assemblers eats my map. So
Session title?
yeah, that's the last thing to do.
Oh yeah.
What do you want to
Damn.
call this beast?
The one
Minute.
about 12-year-olds.
What 12-year-olds?
No, God.
No.
No, I don't want to go to jail.
Can
I
I
will
suggest...
never go back to jail.
There's what my suggestion is.
What was it?
Oh yeah, no, that's all right.
I was going to suggest minutes and seconds,
Minutes and seconds
Oh,
isn't
I
bad.
quite like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just from the tense moments as well.
with all those tents.
Yes.
You can call me a camper because that was intense.
Because you're so camp. Yeah.
No.
No.
We shan't.
Aw.
Maps and mischief. That's another one.
I made a great reference over New Year, and then as I was making it, I was like, "This is going to completely be wasted on everyone around me," so I just continued with it regardless. Which was, what was it? You must be James Harting because you're too good. Anyway, it's a Dota personality reference, and I was so proud
Oh
of it.
yes.
And it was just like none of you know what that is. I don't know why I'm saying this.
That's fine. But do you have a suggestion for session titles besides the 12-year-old one?
I mean,
Anything but that. Can we just edit all that out, please?
can I?
Remove it in post.
Can I?
Fix it in post.
Can
I
I?
will happily become the new editor of everything just to get rid of that statement.
It's the sun artifact. There you go.
Do you even know what that is?
Well, actually, Zigg doesn't. He knows it's an artifact. That's about it. Can I? It's the sun artifact.
There was a lot of talking in the head as well.
There was a lot of head talk.
Head cannon.
I feel like that's maybe when Zigg goes Kamehameha with his psychic powers, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Zigg
Or the
actually
ship
has
does
it.
blow up.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. Wait, this one.
Can't wait till I can Kamehameha. It's going to be great.
You can kind of do that now.
Kamehameha together. It's
It is going to be. It's going to be a race to who becomes the biggest weapon by the end.
Your fucking weapon.
I was waiting for it, Colin. I was counting the seconds
I
down.
think you will be the bigger weapon.
Self-destructive tendencies is another suggestion I have.
I enjoy that.
I like that a lot.
Suicidal
Yeah, I like
tendencies
that.
would also be a reference to Ant.
You're correct.
I will see if I can make this tactic a regular thing in our game.
I like the idea that people just go, right, if we don't come up with a plan in 5 seconds, like, Nix is going to try and just bluff that he's blowing up the entire space station, so can someone suggest something?
He's not going to bluff it because he's bad at bluffing.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
rig it. And
He'll
then fail
actually
to
do it.
convince
He's
you.
going to rig it everywhere he goes, just so he doesn't have to lie about it later.
I'm really bad at lying. Have a bomb. I'm going to steal a joke from The Incredibles. Bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Yeah.
That's when we throw off the ship.
That's definitely when you lose the 11th
There's
hour.
a bit.
Right, so pick one, guys, or suggest one you like.
I have no suggestions.
I like self-destructive.
I like
tendencies.
self-destructive tendencies. Yeah.
Yep, that seems to
Yeah.
have the most excitement. So there we go.
It's got,
We'll go with that one. Self-destructive tendencies.
it's got layers, man. It's got layers.
It's got layers.
Uh,
Oh my.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm gonna go before this gets weird.
Before this gets weird.
Well then.
Oh man, no, no, I was gonna say it can't get weirder. Maybe it can.
I mean, we live
It
in
definitely
weird.
can.
I thought I'm going to wait until the
I am
recording
my
ends,
scars.
then I'm going to go.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for getting this far. Self-destructive tendencies is the name of the session. I
It
look
was
forward
great.
to seeing everyone next week. Yeah. Excellent.
Bye, Nick,
Thanks,
Nick.
Ryan. Bye, Nick.
and Tom,
welcome.
and
Thanks.
Rebecca,
Thanks,
and
Nick.
Becky,
Bye, Ryan.
and
That was
everyone
the
else.
weird bit.
Yeah. Goodbye.